you take a seat. Yeah. So, respected monastic Sangha, beloved Sangha and friends, thank you so much for being here today. Let's start our first section with 3 times of mindful breathing. I am inviting the bell, and I would love to invite you to go back to your in-breath and out-breath. Enjoy in-breath and enjoy out-breath together. Thank you. Dear Sangha, today is the last day of our 10-day retreat for lay practitioners. So I'm honored to be here one more time for a Dharma presentation. And next week, we're going to get back to our normal schedule. So today, I am sharing right faith in Dharma practice. So I would love to ask some of your insight or your reflection. Like when you hear the word right faith, what comes to your mind? And if possible, you can share something about like how it's different from blind belief. Is there anybody would love to share about that? Like when you hear the word right faith, what comes to your mind?
Faith is the strive to have.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Donald, for your answer. That's great. So we'll reserve that maybe for the reflection time at the end, or if you have any more questions at the end of the presentation, you're welcome to ask as well. All right. So like our uncle Donald just shared. So faith, also you can say confidence or conviction. So basically it's come from the word saddha. In Pali, we have some Indian friends here. So I hope that the word is familiar to you. So saddha, it means openness of heart and mind to what is beyond ego and desire, like beyond yourself, like it inspires you to explore, and also like explore what is great, right? Like you're open to the greatness. That is faith, right? And what we are open to, right? We're open to the freedom, to the possibility, and even like to the transformation when we are inspired to practice or like to cultivate the wholesomeness, right, in our faith, in our conviction. So basically, the faith that we meant here, it is meant bright faith. It's based on our understanding. It's based on our experience instead of like something you are told to believe in. Okay. So that is from the foundation of understanding, foundation of our wisdom. So that's the reason why we can translate faith or saddha as conviction and also like confidence. So what is beyond, our ego, right? Our desire. So when we have that kind of faith, we are full or we are fueled by energy and the aspiration to walk on the path of greatness, on the path of goodness, on the path of bettering ourselves day by day, follow, or guided by our bright faith. So the next question is that where, how, from where, from what sources that we can have the faith or our faith arises. So that faith can be, can arise from a historical teacher or any living teachers. For example, our Shakyamuni Buddha, a historical person, historical founder of Buddhism, right? But it's like, or you can trace back to your spiritual root, and then you may say, oh, that is the Jesus, for example, in Christianity or in Catholic. But or the living teachers who, through their way of living, their kindness, their courage, their compassion, for example, inspire us, and then we have faith, right? That make us inspire and we have faith in. Or through books, for example, or life situations that we experience, and then something that touch us very deeply and inspire us to have faith. So that can be from a book. I remember myself when I was 17 years old. Back then I was a Buddhist, and I gotta say, yes, of course, I had faith in Buddha. I had faith in Dharma and Sangha. I had faith, and I had conviction that I was a Buddhist. But until I read the book named Old Path, White Cloud, about the life of Shakyamuni, which were written very, very, vividly and also very beautifully and practically by Zen Master Thích Nhất Hạnh. And, every time that I was reading that book, it touched me deeply. I cried in happiness, and I cry with a lot of inspiration. I talk to myself, oh, I have found the way. This is the way that I would love to go on. This is the practice that touched me a lot. The Buddhism that based on, love, understanding, that, guide me to go within myself so that I can be in touch with my suffering, and also guide me to transform and aspire to deeply, make commitment to transform my suffering. So all of that, from that book, I was so grateful, and I believe that I had strengthened my faith through, or thanks to that book. And luckily, just some months after reading that book, I had the great opportunity to meet Zen Master Thích Nhất Hạnh when he came back to Vietnam, first time ever after 40 years of exile. So his Buddhist temple was next to my high school. Back then, I was a senior in that high school. So I had the opportunity to welcome him right at the moment that he made the first step onto his route on the temple that he founded 40 something years before then. His way of walking, his manner, and his students, his monastic students and laymen, lay women who came from 36 countries in the world came along with him. So the image, the beautiful image of the Sangha, the harmony of that Sangha, practicing mindfulness together deeply touched me. And that moment, I felt like I was so inspired. And I, one more time, knew that I am on the right path. And my faith was strengthened, stronger and stronger. So like that is in my personal experience. And so sometimes just being with a person, a friend of integrity, like in our life, when we are lucky to have some friends that is insightful, that is, wise, or that is willing to listen to, to our suffering or like to our problem, and that person can share with us some insightful advice or just their mindful presence. Say, I'm here for you. That also could strengthen our faith on the practice, on Dharma practice. And last but not least, faith arises from suffering. That is very true, right? I believe that every one of us here has experienced some time, some period of time that we have to deal with suffering, that we have to deal with stress or depression sometimes. And in those moments, suffering can trial us, could trial us to say, I had nowhere to go, or how often like we can lose ourselves in suffering. We have seen many people out there in like society, they can't find a way out. So that can deepen their confusion. But for many of us, and I believe that many of us here, in those moments, we did have questions to ourselves. What's going on? What have I done with my life? What I can do to overcome this situation, right? What is the way out? And that question or that reflection motivate us to find the way, motivate us to make connection, right? For example, the connection with this Sangha, right? So, or connection of our practice, right? Or what is like that suffering gonna, could motivate us to look back and, make us find what is the meaning of life. So through that, we could also nurture our faith, and that can help us to, make more commitment to our well-being, to our mental well-being, instead of like letting the flow of life or letting the worry or letting, like stress take control of us, right? So faith in that way can arise. And the more that we practice, or like that lead us to, like figure out the way out. Another way of practice, our faith is deepened, and the element that last week we talked, commitment or diligence on the path of the practice, is strengthened or is initiating or is started because of the faith. When we have faith, we will be more committed to practicing. When we have faith, we will be more diligent on in our daily life practice or in our way of arranging our life, so that we can nurture and then emphasize not just material life, but we emphasize and also pay more attention to nurture our mental well-being, our whole well-being, so that that correlated, right? The faith is the foundation for the diligence to to be strengthened, and vice versa. When we are diligent on the path of practice, our faith is just strengthened day by day and deepened day by day. So these are just some example or recommendations or suggestions. Maybe you have your own experience of your faith arise in you. So I'll be happy to listen to your experience later on. So again, these are just some examples of how faith arises. And as practitioners, so where and who we have faith in, we have confidence in. Usually, at the beginning, we may find that we have some faith in something and someone outside of us. And I am just focusing on Dharma practice. It doesn't mean that I am excluding, any source of faith, but I'm because of the limitation of time. So I'm providing just, some example of the, as practitioner here in our Dharma practice. But we are very open. I'm very open to listen to who you have faith in and where, from what sources you have faith in later on. So as Dharma practice, at the beginning, we have faith in the Buddha, the awakened one, right? The founder of Buddhism, the one who is historical person, who experienced suffering, who also aspire to figure out the way to transform his own suffering and help beings, have others, and have all of us to figure out the way to, to nurture our inner peace, to our happiness, to, transform our suffering and attain the enlightenment. So the Dharma, that is his teaching, or also Dharma is the truth. Dharma is not something that the Buddha created. Dharma is the truth that the Buddha discovered, practiced, and he taught us, he shared that with us. And we all can experience that Dharma. We all can practice and figure out the fruit of the practice by ourselves. It is not something that's saying, you gotta follow it, we must do this or we must do that. It's not something like that. It is just the teaching, the sharing of the truth. And if we follow the truth, if we put the truth into the practice, and we can experience the truth, we can see the truth by ourselves. So that is the Dharma. Sangha is a community of the practitioners, as you can see, like the monks, the nuns, and also lay practitioners, those who are on the path of the practicing the Buddha's teaching and sustain harmony and live together in harmony, in awareness. And, we are part of the Sangha also. When we come together, support each other on the path of transforming our suffering, we're willing to help and be present to each other. So we are nurturing that sense of community. And it's also the Sangha that we have faith in, we have confidence in, because every time that, like every time I myself think of the Sangha, I'm always grateful for the community that we have here. Even though we have like not many members, but like every one of us, every time that we come, and then we know that we have something common, that is joy, that is peace, and we would love to share our experience. Also, like we would love to benefit from the practice of the Sangha. When we come together in practice, we come together in love, harmony, and compassion. So in the deeper meaning of this faith in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the Buddha also taught us, and also like we all can like point back to our own mind and our actions. In our own mind, our within, there is Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha nature within each of us. That through our daily activities and our practice, we can strengthen that faith, and we can be in touch with that, with those sources of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha within each of us. And that is in the deeper meaning or deeper level of the faith, right? So the Buddha taught us that everybody has the Buddha nature within. That is love, that is wisdom, that is insight, that is kindness. So we all have those Buddha nature within, right? So if we have that confidence that we too can radiate, or like we can nurture those qualities or those wholesome qualities in our daily life or within us. So that is the faith. We're strengthening the faith in the Buddha within, right? Also, Dharma, as I say, Dharma is the truth, but also Dharma is a way of living. If we don't, like Dharma within us is expressed or is manifesting through our way of living. For example, using loving speech, practicing kindness, generosity in our daily life, be willing to listen to others with compassion, or like any kind of like kind act that we can do, very small kind act that we willing to do to help out. So, or being kind, to being compassionate to our own self. So that is Dharma, the way of living. And Sangha within ourselves is harmony, because nature of the Sangha is harmony. So what do we mean by harmony within? We also can cultivate harmony within ourselves through, like the way that our body and mind, the way of our living, so that like our body and our mind can be in harmony with each other. Sometimes we don't listen to our body. We feel like, today I'm craving for chocolate, and we eat a lot of chocolate without knowing that eating too much chocolate can cause damage to our body, for example. So you see, like we're not listening well to our body. Or our mind will love to go to the temple for the practice, but our body say, I'm tired. I don't want to go. Like I'm here, I'm good. So we're lazy. Later on, we couldn't make it, for example. So in many cases, in many situations in our life, we can't stay harmony or sustain harmony between our body and mind. But when our body and mind are in harmony, there is Sangha within ourselves. So when our mind is in our body, and then we are present, fully present for the moment that we are, so that is Sangha within. That every day, if we can touch that, we are strengthening our faith in the Sangha within ourselves. And that is the deeper meaning of the faith in the three jewels. And the more that we practice, the more that we can figure out that we have the inner, like we strengthen our inner knowing. We are, we're having such confidence in our capability of awakening in our daily life. Like we are more able to be awake, yeah, for in our moments of our life. For example, we can ask ourselves, are we awake now? Is there any confusion in my mind right now? Or is there any reaction that I am having or I would love to express? Or like, the moment that we are present, right? Like we are open and like we can have like the mere recognition or awareness of our life. For example, when we walk in the wood, or when we walk from the garage to to the temple, for example, or when we walk into the wood and then like we'll listen to the sound of the bird. And then like if we just listen, say, I'm aware of the sound of the bird, right? Mere recognition, mere awareness. In those moments, we can like figure out the sensations or our thought. With mindfulness, we're mindful of our sensation. We're mindful of our thought. We're mindful of our action. So the more moments that we can be awake or we can be mindful like that, we are deepening our inner knowing. And that inner knowing is very important. And that in that way, we can be in touch with miracle of life in many ways. When last week, when I listened to Joy sharing about Joy's for her her joy in her gardening, this was so great, and I could see in that tenderness, in the like the passion of taking care of her trees and plants. I could see a lot of love, a lot of attention and care to very tiny being. And she say, "Oh, I talk to them every day. I praise them." Right? Joy last week. So that can be a great example for us to enjoy, like in something that is it seems very simple, but if we do that with our heart, we do everything, like we do that like wholeheartedly, we can figure out something that we can make commitment easily in that way, so that we can strengthen our awareness, our inner knowing, right? Our awakening moment, and then we can keep going with other activities that we may not able to do it easily. For example, something very maybe simple to some of us, but like it seems hard to others. For example, nowadays eating without using any devices. Eating just for eating, enjoy the food in front of our table, enjoy the presence of our loved one that is next to us or close to us without being distracted by the cell phone. That can be the moment of joy. That can be the moment of awakening when we are fully present for each other. And then when we are working, right, or like when we are doing, like I myself, I've been practicing, like when I am sitting for writing or reading, I would love to put my phone a little bit far from me so that I don't reach it when I have any notification. So those kind of like way of practice, or like way of like doing, can help us to have more moment of awakening, or like we can stay focused in what we are doing, so that we don't lose ourselves in distraction. Yeah. So in that way, our inner knowing, our mindfulness can be strengthened day by day. And faith is not something static. It's not something static. Say, oh, I have faith in my path. I have faith in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, so I am a Buddhist. But actually, every day we need to strengthen our faith. When our faith is stronger and stronger, as I say, we are more motivated and more committed to doing something to overcome the difficulties, or to be willing to take steps to strengthen and nurture our well-being day by day, and make progress on the path of our practice. So, dear Sangha, the practice, or the faith that I'm sharing with you is something that is very something very living, right? That is very alive, and we need to nurture it every day. It is not something that not only something that we inherit in our family and say, oh yeah, I know that, I have faith in that, but I'm not sure what's going on. I just believe in it, but I believe in that, but I'm not sure that I am very, I am nurturing my faith. So the important point here is that faith, bright faith, comes from within, comes from our understanding, comes from our own confidence through our experience, not from outside. Even though you are listening to me, or like the Buddha himself, he didn't, he gave the teaching in many sutras saying that you don't have to believe in me. You don't have to believe in the teachers or the authorities or anyone who say you have to, or you even in your traditions, until you put that into the practice, and then you see it is beneficial for yourself. Until you see it is true for your own experience, and then you have that faith, or you have the confidence in. So, something like that. You don't have to believe in what I say, right? But I invite you to experience, to reflect in your own experience or through your own practice, to see how much faith, right? How much confidence you already have in your practice, or in the community of practitioners, and also in your daily life, nurturing your awakening, nurturing your well-being, right? So that is very important. That's also very fundamental for our, our life. That I believe everybody needs a faith, right? Needs to have faith, and I'm very grateful, right, for being able to have faith and strengthen my faith every day, nurture my faith every day in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, outside, but also within myself, and have a opportunity to reflect on, my thought, my reaction, my emotions, in a way that I could understand myself every day. And I hope that through this, you could have some point of faith. And I also, I'm very open to listen. I'm very eager to listen to your own experience, or if you have any questions related to faith, please, is the time for us to have discussion, or to listen to your reflection. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna turn to the first question that I asked you, and that can be a good point. If you would love to answer these questions, that would be awesome. Or if you would love to share your own experience, as I say, please share. Okay. Oh yes. Yes. Yeah. For the audience, Facebook audience, chị đi giùm em.
Thank you. So I know with my faith, I have a lot of people above me that I can look up to. Like Amanda, her kindness is inspiring. Renee's dedication is inspiring. Your friendship is inspiring, and especially the teacher. He's given me so much inspiration that I can take my faith and say, my faith is strengthened because of the teacher and the others that I mentioned. And even my father, when he used to come here, seeing his dedication coming, and now we get Uncle Donald, the same thing. I know the effort it takes to get here is very inspiring to my faith. So with that said, the Buddha didn't have any of that. So what or who did the Buddha look to help increase his inspiration and his faith in a religion that didn't really exist at the time?
Wow.
That's a little question, that's all.
Oh, that's a profound question, Joe. Thank you so much. So, as we know, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he was a prince of the kingdom Kapilavastu back then. So he had a great opportunity when he was very young. He was provided with a great education, like by royal family. So basically, he learned all about like Hinduism. He learned skillfully all of the scripture of Hinduism back then. That all of his teachers admire him, his intelligence or intellectual capability, and also he make a lot of like insightful questions related to that religion as well, that his teachers couldn't answer and couldn't feel like satisfy his question, his inquiry. So he had question in that faith. So that was their initiative. That was initiative for him to go further, and to go further, right? Like not just only like have faith in that religion and like become a good king, right? So the more important point that I say earlier is that, of course, the faith start from or arise from outside of us, right? Like those who are inspired by, or like the kind of great actions or qualities from others that we are inspired by. But at the end of the day, the more important thing, or like on the deeper level, that is the inner knowing, our direct experience. And then we need to have faith within ourselves. And I believe that the Buddha himself strengthened his faith, his own insight, through his own practice, through his life, through his experiences of suffering, also like witnessing the suffering of life. And then he was inspired, right, to renounce the luxurious royal family's life, to seek for the path of enlightenment. So the path of enlightenment, the path of seeking enlightenment is based on his own wisdom, his own insight. Of course, that kind of like insight had been nurtured by many sources outside of him, but it turned to be his own inner insight, inner knowing. And that led him to, 6 years of seeking enlightenment and practicing. In those 6 years, not just practicing asceticism, to strengthen his faith, or like to test, right, to verify the practice. He was very diligent in every practice, is every religious practices. He learned with many great religious teachers back then, Udadama and Urambata. So those were the two great teachers of those two religions back then. And then he attained the highest achievement that as his teachers. And then he also shared with those leaders that the practice didn't lead him to ultimate enlightenment. So that's why he left them. He says, sorry, he gotta keep going for finding the ultimate enlightenment. So basically, like sharing with you like a dedication to figure out like the true way of enlightenment. So like when he made commitment, and he was very diligent in his own way of like seeking the ultimate answer, the ultimate enlightenment. So each of the practice strengthened him, or like strengthened his faith in his own capability of practice. So after 6 years of practicing asceticism, he finally, when he listened to, he remembered the, like when he listened to the music, right? So like he remembered like the sound of the, like the string, the instrument string, the guitar, for example, right? Like if it's tuned too tightly, it doesn't, or too loose, it didn't create the right sound or melody to only like the right one. So the middle path, he figured out the way of middle path, and then he decided to get back and eat with moderation instead of like practicing asceticism, like eating 1 grain or like 1 grain a day. Practicing asceticism is like that, like tormenting your body so that like your mind has the ability to be enlightened. 6 years practicing like that, and finally he figured out the middle path. Yeah, so again, his diligence, his inner knowing, his commitment, his great effort on the path of his own practice help him to figure out the enlightenment. Yes, I hope. Thank you. Any more questions? If you can ask. Yeah, Donald, please.
Personal thing. I have a best friend. And he is a Christian. Believes, say, similar to Catholics, believe that you baptize or understand how except one thing. They were condemned to not go to heaven. And yes. my friend is a Baptist, and he believes strongly that you must believe that Christ is the true Savior and you accept him, or else you cannot go to heaven.
Yeah.
And so I told him that, faith is a gift.
Yes.
It's sometimes hard to accept something that you can't believe. And therefore, he feels very sad because he will not be with me in heaven, because I cannot accept that because you don't accept one thing that you can't go to heaven. Mm-hmm. As a result, it makes for a difficult relationship in terms of that one thing. And I don't know if there's an answer or not, because I think that faith is a gift that you get through many sources, and all of a sudden, whatever that enlightenment is,
Yes.
I think I'm a good Buddhist, but I don't think I'm a good Christian. Because I believe in doing good things and doing the right things. But I just can't believe that because somebody will not accept one tenet of a certain religion, they cannot go to heaven if everything else they do is in accordance with the correct thing to do. So it's a dilemma. It's not some question that can be answered, but it's a dilemma, and it is the way it is.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Donald. I remember there's a quote as well in Catholic saying that the kingdom of God is within, right? So I believe that, like when the quote saying like the kingdom of God is within. So I don't think that there is somebody who could justify you cannot be accepted to the kingdom of God because of this, because of that, but yourself through your way of action. Like you say, if you believe in goodness, you believe in, in wholesome thing, right? Like, and then you live by it. You live your life, you navigate your life in accordance with goodness, right? In accordance with kindness. So for sure, nobody can take that, beauty or like that gift, like you say, from you. Because even though, so like I greatly appreciate the profound reflection, and I find like resonation with that kind of, with your sharing. And I believe that you can you can share with your friends that, the kingdom of God is from within. I believe that it is from Jesus, or like, I don't know, like I read that book, I read one quote like that. It's very, very profound, right? And in that way of understanding, no matter you like what traditions of Catholic or Christianity or Baptism, right? That your friend practicing, we all human being, we too, like, or even Hinduism or whatever religions that we have, if we believe in goodness, if we believe in wholesomeness, and also we live by those wholesome values, wholesome qualities, at the end of the day, we will see each other, right? In heaven, in whatever concept of heaven that we have. But for sure, because we live a wholesome life, we live with a whole worthy life. So we have no worries, or like we have no, kind of like fear of the future, because the future is made from our presence. So so we greatly appreciate your reflection. It's not really like a question, right? But thank you so much for sharing your profound insight. Donald, do you have any further questions? Yes, Renee?
Thank you. So basically, just to kind of touch on what Donald said, one of the main things that turned me away from mainstream religion in the first place was the fact that I felt a lot of external pressure from people telling me what my connection to faith or whatever was, which really irritated me. Because it's, again, coming from a place of, who are you to tell me what my direct relationship with God, the universe, Buddha, whatever that is, that nature. And so that's where I always tell people to explore for themselves why they feel so strongly to be telling someone else what their relationship is, when in reality, if they were so diligent in their own practice, then all they would be simply worrying about is living life as their message. And that to me has been the primary foundation for faith of me, is just live life as your message. I think that might have been a Thich Nhat Hanh quote in itself, where just if your actions can match up, and in my own suffering or when things are going wrong, that is when your faith is tested. It's easy to have faith when life is going well and in your favor, but it's when the fear sets in, how am I going to make ends meet? What am I going to do next? Or feeling like everything you planned is falling apart. Sometimes that's when it's actually coming together, when you have the faith that there are bigger plans out there. So that's when I've had to really buckle down and have faith, is in those moments of crumbling. And I don't really think there's any external inspiration or even historical figure that can pull you out in those moments. You need to be able to have that inner strength and inner knowing that, there's better on the other side. Sure. So that's my kind of take on faith. So thank you.
That's very profound. Thank you so much for that insight, Renee. The more that we practice and to match what the message is, like Renee just shared, or the great values that we appreciate in any spiritual practices, right? We live by it. If we live by it, put that into our daily practice, it strengthens our faith. But it's not like the faith to the external resources, but the inner faith, the faith within us is strengthened day by day. And that is called unshakable faith. Nobody could take away that faith from you, even the death. Because you know where you're gonna be, right? If you strengthen your faith in that way every day. We can be in touch with the inner strength and inner peace every day. That's very meaningful. Thank you, Renee, for that reflection. And thank you everyone for your listening, and also for your beautiful questions and insight. And for the next section, we invite the Sangha to practice walking meditation. As you know, because we have some new members here, so we'd love to introduce you. Walking meditation, we're gonna walk around, we follow our Dharma teachers, walking very slowly, just enjoy every step that we make on the Mother Earth. So take one step as you breathe in, take another step as you breathe out, and then you can letting go of the worry, just focus your mind on your step and your breath, and give your mind or your body and mind have an opportunity to relax, be present here and now. And we also can walk for our loved ones, those who are sick or busy or who are not able to walk and enjoy their walking. So let us walk for them with peace and compassion. So now please stand up. As listening to the sound of the bell, please together we slightly bow down to the Buddha, to the three jewels, and then we follow our Dharma teachers for